Beneil, welcome. How are you finding Perth, first of all?
I love it here. I've been here for over 10 days now, I think, and I love it. Been eating a lot of kangaroo and just hanging out, training.
Now, it's pretty customary for people to buy like an akubra, like a cowboy hat. Have you thought about any of that yet?
I got a lot of cowboy hats. Is there any difference here with the cowboy hats?
Ours are like manlier.
Oh, okay. Then I'll make sure to grab one. See,
you also got to put the strings with the corks in it. You know
I'll do whatever it takes. I like cowboy hats. I definitely have my cowboy moments.
And are you a gift shopper when you go internationally back home for the family? Do you get a lot? Are you going to get a lot of Australian gifts to bring back?
I'm just gonna bring the family here and they can figure it out what they want. But as far as my list goes, you know, obviously I'm more of a foodie, so I want to try all the delicacies, if you want to call them, or the special meats or whatever. That's what I want to try. And then I want to get a boomerang. I didn't know the hat thing was, but I knew the boomerang thing was, you know. So yeah, I want to get it all figured out.
Do you remember when Verdum threw the boomerang at Colby?
I do. I'm planning on getting one that looks just like.
Who would you throw a boomerang at?
Oh man. Can't really think of anybody right now off the top of my head.
Fighter, coach, teammate.
Man. Sheesh, bro.
You thought you were going to talk about the fights, didn't you?
Yeah. Man, maybe I'll throw it at Dana for not putting me on the White House card, bro. I'm kidding. Actually, pretty excited for that card. I think that's a pretty good card.
Thanks for the Dana White headline. Now, as we transition into your fights, obviously, you're a very nice guy. You get along with the fans and whatnot, but you're coming up against hometown boy Quillan Salkilld. Are you expecting to be booed?
No, I don't know. Australia feels like home to me, man. I love it here, so I don't feel like I'm in enemy territory or whatever. I feel very comfortable here. So if I get booed, I get booed. It's not anything new to me, to be honest. I think the worst I ever got booed was in the United States. One time I fought, I think Michael Johnson. This was so long ago, and then fighting Tony Ferguson. Like you're never gonna be the fan favorite fighting Tony. So those were the times where I got booed the most, from what I can remember.
And how has your reception been in Australia? Not just fans, but have you noticed just regular people sort of recognizing you?
I get a little bit of it for sure. What's like the grocery store you guys?
IGA.
No, it's the other one. It's like the
Spud Shed.
It's a little bit nicer. It's like was by Target or whatever. Anyways, it's the one I got all the kangaroo. You get noticed a little bit more there. And every time I go to the IGN, I get noticed a little bit, which is cool. It reminds me of back home. We have Costco. Costco's a thing. I don't know why the UFC doesn't have a deal with Costco, but every single time I walk into Costco, I get recognized, and it's been kind of the same thing here with the IGN and what was the other one you call it?
Spud Shed, the IGA. We got Coles, we got Woolworths.
Yeah, all those. Every one of them I walked into, I get recognized. So it's been great. I love it here.
I've enjoyed our podcast so far, but if I could ask you a question about your opponent, Quillan Salkilld. Obviously, he feels like one of the hottest prospects in the sport right now. Do you know that, and do you feel that, and sort of kind of how do you prepare for a young up-and-coming kid?
It's not anything different for me, you know what I mean? I don't look at hype. I don't look at like the whole aura thing. I don't look at legacy thing. I look at the man, I break him down, I see what his skill sets are, and I get ready for that. And I was supposed to fight Manuel Torres. I think he's actually more difficult to get ready for because he's more well-rounded. He can grapple, he can strike, and he can change it up at will. So that's just what it is. I got to get ready for this kind of fighter, a very complete fighter.
Can you share the holes in Quillan Salkild's game that you think there are?
I'm going to have to find out. I'm going to get in there and find out. I would say that because he is very well-rounded, so we'll see where his holes are.
So just sort of clarifying, you don't necessarily believe the hype?
No, I think he's definitely the future. I'm just going to postpone that for a little bit.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Beneil over here.
Yeah.
Talking about that, he seems to be kind of this rising star, definitely in Australia. I'm not sure how it is around the world. Prior to him being matched up with you, did you know much about him?
Yeah, I watched his fights, particularly with Nasrat. Nasrat's a friend of mine, so I was watching that fight and, very impressive.
Before, when you were asked about throwing a boomerang at someone, you didn't say Quillan, he's the man you're meant to be fighting. Have you had kind of any interactions with him? What is the relationship like?
I just saw him right now. I just shook his hand. Haven't really said anything. We haven't spoken at all, so that was it. I think I just nodded at him, and that's about it. What am I supposed to hate? The guy has the same dreams as me. The guy wants to do the same things that I do. He wants to provide for his family, for whatever. It's hard to hate somebody who has who has the same lifestyle as you, wants the same things as you. It's so silly to me that we have to make this cookie cutter approach of creating animosity. I don't have any animosity towards him. Maybe it's the other way around. But as far as when the time comes in to go into that octagon, it's kill or die. I don't need animosity for that. I've had that nature since I was young. Fighting has always been the easiest thing in my life, and Saturday, nothing changes.
And obviously not the performance you would like in your last fight. When something like that happens, is there any extra frustration that comes with it's not necessarily you did something wrong? There wasn't necessarily a lot of things that you could look at and be like, this is what went wrong. It was 20 seconds.
Absolutely I was frustrated. I worked so hard for that camp, and then to lose like that, I didn't even get a chance to fight. And it doesn't give you a lot of answers, but that's part of fighting. And as a devout Christian, sometimes you just have to trust God that He has a plan, and His plans are better than my plans. And so I have to just be faithful and walk forward. And that's been the mindset. God's plans are better than mine. And so I will be faithful, I will be obedient, and I will continue to go forward. And I get to do what I love. This really is what I love to do. I love fighting. It's, if I didn't have the UFC, I wasn't competing, I'd still wake up and go train, because I don't really know how else to be normal.
Thank you very much.
Beneil, just over here, please. You've spoken about recently, after your loss to Benoit Saint-Denis, that you were going to change your weight cutting approach to losing muscle mass. How's the weight cut been going this week? Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. So I started working with the PI really closely, and the whole, approach that Charles from the PI, he did it so different, and it's been so good that yesterday I went in downstairs to the team, to the nutrition team, and they're like, "Hey, we don't want you to lose weight overnight, so keep your weight where it's at." And I was a little dumbfounded but they're like, your weight's on track. We don't want you to feel weaker or whatever. So they're like, "Nah, just chill out and you're good to go." So really happy with the progress I've made with the UFC PI, and I just can't thank Charles enough. Yeah, cool. And just another quick one. You've had some pretty good call-outs in the past following a few of your wins, Elon Musk, Robert Whittaker being some of them. Do you have another good one in mind if you win this weekend? I don't have one in mind, but if I think one between now and then. now you're putting pressure on me, so I got to figure something out. But no, I don't have anything in mind, to be honest with you. Hopefully, maybe the Lord will put something on my heart. We'll see. Yeah, sweet. Thank you.
Beneil, you mentioned before that Nasrat's a friend of yours. You saw how Quillan, finished that fight. Do you still feel that there's a sense of revenge on your part, or opportunity for revenge for your friend?
Absolutely not. Nasrat is a grown man, and he's going to work hard, get back to the top, and he can. We don't fight out of vengeance, man. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So it's not like a vengeance thing for us. It's just we're competitors. We want to be the best, and so when we lose, we want to get it back for sure. But I think Nasrat can do that himself. I think I have my own fight to think about. I have my own place to think about, and I'm not looking for revenge, I'm not looking past my opponent. I'm looking at him, and I'm trying to just assess him the best that I can so I can break him down and beat him.
Do you sense that experience could be a factor in this fight? Because, again, you made your UFC debut in 2014, and at that time, Quillan Salkilld was skateboarding.
Yeah, yes and no, because I have a lot of UFC fights. I agree for sure. But my understanding is, like, the amateur scene has changed so much. When I fought, there was no amateur. I jumped into pro my first fight, and then like 6 fights later, I was in the UFC. It's different. These guys, you can accumulate so much more experience now so early because of the amateur scene. It's not something I had. I had no access to that. So I do think experience is going to play in my favor, but I don't think he's too far from me. I think he's had a lot of striking fights. I think he's got great grappling. I'm sure he's competed in grappling. From what I've seen, there's not a holes in his game. And that's why I think he's the future. And my job is to just postpone that.
You probably noticed, based on your own comments, that fans have been noticing you on the street. You're a very likeable fighter and been around for a very long time. But you mentioned before that fighting in Perth, the Perth crowd is such a fantastic atmosphere, and you're fighting a local guy, and you have been booed before, but you're probably going to be booed more than you've ever been booed before in your life heading into this one.
I don't think so.
Probably get a sense when it comes to the ceremonial way, and you'll get a little taste of it there. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
All the best. Thanks, Beneil.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Beneil, just a quick one, mate, just down here. You've obviously seen multiple eras of the lightweight division. Do you think today's division's better, or is it just louder?
That's a great question, actually. I think both can be true, right? I think the division is better and louder as well. I think the skill is, man, every generation gets better. So, as I get older and I get new generation, I have to stay on top of that and get better. I see the change. I see the change in level. Last generation, it was like, everybody's well-rounded, but they specialize in one thing. This generation is essentially trying to be a specialist in everything, and it's very impressive because it's what the ideal fighter wants to be. So I'm really excited to see what this generation is going to produce, because we have currently guys like Ilya, but what makes Ilya stand out is his power. He's an excellent striker, but his power makes him stand out. I want to see I want to see a new John Jones figure, essentially, where he's great at everything.
Yeah. And just obviously you mentioned, obviously your age, there's LeBron James, there's all these amazing athletes at the moment. How long do you want to stay in the sport? And, what are your plans?
I've changed my approach to this. It's just one fight at a time. I'll, win or lose, I'll figure it out as I go. I don't want to get too caught up in the future and then miss out what's in front of me. You know what I mean? So right now I'm just really excited about fight week, really excited about my weight, about the fight, and just getting in there and scrapping. And then I'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, nice. And obviously we were just talking about, there might be some boos and the crowd's going to be against you. Have you got anything to combat that? Are you going to give us a little Aussie, or is there something in your trick bag that you're going to win the fans over?
I totally forgot about the Aussie. No, I don't. I'm a big believer in just being who you are. So, man, if you don't like me, that's okay. If you're going to boo me, that's okay. I understand. That's fine too. We need that. We need that in the sport. Like, you can't like everybody in the sport. It's okay to not like me.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Mm-hmm.